right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining our Move More virtual lunch and learn with the American Heart Association today, where we are going to be focused on the importance of staying active as part of Move More Month. During April, the American Heart Association is encouraging people nationwide to move more and to get physically active. Sheehy Auto Stores is a proud local sponsor of the AHA and its Move More initiative in April. Being active is one of the best ways to maintain your physical and mental health. Most of us want to be more active. We want to live longer, healthier lives and keep our bodies and minds healthy. But we also know that there are a lot of reasons why we don't exercise more. So we're glad you've decided to join us today to learn more about how you can incorporate more movement into your daily life. But first, let's start off by sharing a recap of how all of Sheehy Auto Stores got moving last week with our Sheehy Has Heart Pedometer Challenge. Our cumulative steps across all of our participating dealerships was over 781,000. That's amazing. The winning dealership had over 241,000 steps, and that was Sheehy Ford of Warrenton. So congratulations to the Sheehy Ford of Warrenton team and to all who participated in the challenge. You took the step in the right direction. In addition to earning the Sheehy rewards, that dealership will also enjoy a heart healthy luncheon and Sheehy Has Heart goodie bags plus bragging rights for the next 12 months. Speaking of rewards, we will be providing Sheehy rewards to all those that have joined us live today, plus bonus points to the individual who is most active in the chat box. So we hope you will actively participate. Be sure to enter your name and dealership in the chat box to get credit for attending or for participating. We have a few special guests lined up for today's call, including JP Wiley from the American Heart Association, who will talk a little more about the importance of Move More Month. And we also have an AHA survivor speaker, Scott Boscia, who will share his powerful story with us. To kick things off, we have a very special group of active guests that are going to share some great workout warm-up tips for us. In case you didn't know, Paul Sheehy is a partner and part owner of Old Glory DC, DC's professional rugby team. In addition to his love of all things used cars, Paul also has a focus and passion on growing the sport of rugby throughout the youth of our surrounding communities. So if any of you want to get your kids moving more, I know Paul would agree that rugby is where they should start. So feel free to reach out to Paul or marketing@sheehy.com or visit oldglorydc.com to learn more. As Old Glory goes through these stretches, we encourage you all at the dealerships to follow along with them and feel free to send any pics of your team participating to marketing@sheehy.com for bonus reward points. Don't forget, we will also be sending out a recording of this so you can refer back to the workout as needed. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce the Old Glory team and their warm-up tips. So let's get moving.
Hey Team Sheehy, we're so excited to hear about your Healthy Hearts journey. We love hearing about the steps you're taking to live healthier, longer lives. Maddie Bales here, our trainer, is going to give you some easy and fun warm-ups that you can do before walking, running, biking, gymming, anything like that. Over to Maddie.
Alright guys, let's get into some active stretches. We're going to go in push-up position. Hands under the shoulders, abs are tight. You're going to push back onto your heels, head in between the shoulders. Reach back, opposite hand to opposite foot, and then reset. Let's knock out 5 toe touches each side. 5 each side. Really rock back, try to get to the heels, big hamstring calf stretch. Good. If you can get flat, that's great. If not, do your best. When you finish, we're going to stay in push-up position. You have a tight lower body. All right, when you're done, we're still in push-up. You're going to bring one leg through, drop the knee in between the hands, shin flat, and then you're going to drop your opposite elbow down. And then pop back up, switch, drop the elbow down. All right, let's knock out 5 on each side here as well. Make sure you're switching sides. Opposite elbow to opposite knee. Take a second to hold if you need it. And again, we'll be in push-up position for our last stretch. When you're done, just hang out, abs tight. All right, we're gonna go world's greatest stretch, everyone's favorite. Push-up position, bring one foot up by your hands. You're gonna take that same hand, drop down, reach up, pinch the shoulder blades together, and then switch sides. All right, 5 on each. When you're done with these, you can stand up. Really try to drop that elbow down to the instep of your foot, or at least as close as you can get it. Let's try to keep the back leg straight. You're squeezing your butt, trying to get a little bit of a hip flexor stretch on that side. Really open up your chest and shoulders. Pinch your upper back together. And once you've done 5 on each, go ahead and stand up. All right, real simple. Bodyweight squats. Make a fist, push it into your other hand, sit down, it's comfortable, stand up. All right, when you're at the top, you're squeezing your butt. Go ahead and knock out 10 of those. Keep pressure in your hands the whole time. Try to get a core engaged. Push it down. And good ones. Good. Butt back, chest up, knees out. When you're done, we're gonna go 5 to each side, lateral lunges with an overhead reach. So you're gonna step to the side, reach up, stand up, and then you can switch. All right, 5 to each side. Try to keep your hands as tall as you can. Trail legs should be straight. Don't bump into your neighbor unless you mean it. Alright, so you're going to do a single leg RDL with the reach. So you're going to reach your back leg back as far as you can, and then your hands out as far as you can. Stand up, and we want to move as one solid piece, so it should be like there's a rod through your hips. That's where we pivot. Out and up. 5 on each side. The better you keep that back leg engaged, the more counterbalance you have, the more stable you will be.
Beautiful. So that's it. We encourage you to get out, enjoy yourselves, enjoy the outside weather, and most of all, Sheehy has heart. Hey Team Sheehy, we're so excited to hear about your healthy hearts journey.
All right, Lauren, I hope you guys enjoyed this stretching video. I'm going to go ahead and share some additional resources and talk about what the Heart Association is doing this month with our community and corporate partners called Move More, and this is part of our Healthy for Good platform. And you can find more information about Healthy for Good at healthyforgood.heart.org. And the 3 pillars of Healthy for Good are to eat smart, to be well, and to move more. And so April is all about moving more, and any way you can add movement into your daily life will naturally improve your heart health. And so I want to share a little bit of information. I'm going to go ahead and share the resource online, and you can go ahead and go to that website that I just referenced. And that stretching routine that we saw with Old Glory is something that I would highly recommend doing every day, regardless of whether or not you're going to be doing some physical activity. Some additional 5-minute movement breaks that you can do and you can find here online are at healthyforgood.com, and it's a Fierce 5 movement break. We have one on flexibility, core activation, quick blast circuit, and upper body strength. So I definitely recommend visiting this page and watching these videos. It's something that you can do at home and at work. Also want to share a couple tidbits here before we get into our keynote speaker for the day. Let me get to this next screen here. All right, hopefully everybody can see this, but this should really hit home what you can do. And you notice here the first point is 10 minutes of stretching is like walking the length of a football field. So it really certainly gets your heart moving. And when you move more every day, you can reach some pretty lofty goals. Small steps tend to add up to huge strides. and in your physical, mental health, stress levels, sleep, productivity, relationships, and more. And, you know, walking is one of the simplest ways to get active and stay active. Research has shown that walking can have a significant impact on your health by lowering your chances of heart disease. And the AHA recommends 150 minutes of moderate intensity activity per week. So that's only 2.5 hours, and only 30 minutes of brisk walking 5 days a week. So I'm going to bring Scott up here to talk a little bit about his journey, how he's incorporated physical activity into his life. And without further ado, Scott is one of our Healthy for Good Lifestyle Change Award winners from our 2020 Heart Walk because of the changes that he's made in his life. I'm excited to bring him on to tell his story. And go ahead and let me stop sharing here. All right. One moment, we'll bring Scott back in here.
Hey, Scott, we can see you.
Do you want my video on?
Yes, please.
Oh, okay.
Feel free to get started. Yes, thank you.
No. Well, first off, I'd like to thank JP for thinking of me and inviting me to share my story and my lifestyle change. And my name is Scott Boscia, and I live with congenital heart disease. I have what's known as bicuspid aortic valve. My heart has or had 2 leaflets instead of your typical tricuspid 3 leaflets. Started back, so growing up, I played all the sports. I'm a former college football coach, football player, and I've always relatively stayed active, even after college and into my grown up years, if you will, right, adult years. And it was in 2012. I was not diagnosed, but I went to see my physician, and he heard a little murmur. Not a big deal. People live with murmurs all the time. So he recommended that I go to see a cardiologist. And again, here I am, 42, going on my 43rd birthday, walking to the cardiologist. The tech does some quick tests. The cardiologist walks in. Sorry. He tells you need open heart surgery. And I shook my head. I was like, I'm not the profile. I'm not the profile for open heart surgery. You're wrong. And when I finally consumed my emotions, I took a step back and really started doing the research on what it meant. And what I really found out is that heart disease does not discriminate. Okay, someone like myself, fit, active, really his entire life, born with a congenital heart disease that went undiagnosed for 43 years. So I went through my first open heart surgery. I had 2 options, a mechanical valve or a bioprosthetic tissue valve. I chose the tissue valve. I had young children at the time, and I did not want to be on blood thinners. And the tissue valve is supposed to last typically 8 to 15 years. Well, mine failed after 5. So it was in 2017. After my first surgery, I recovered well. I got back into shape. I carry 190, 195 well, due just to my body build. And playing in a basketball game in 2017, I ran up and down the court one time and had to go out into the hallway and just keeled over. And I knew what was happening. Went to see the cardiologist. By the time I got home, I had 2 messages saying, you need to have another surgery. This time I opted for the mechanical heart valve because I didn't want to have to go through another surgery, of course. And I was expecting to go in for you know, 4 or 5 hour surgery, recover in 3 or 4 days like my first one. But unfortunately, my surgery lasted 15 plus hours. I had heart and lung failure. I was on a bedside life support called ECMO, and it was not a good situation. I subsequently had to stay in the hospital bed for 36 days, and it's just nightmares. It's just an awful experience. And when I finally, at the end of that 36 days and finally aware and being able to get back up on my feet, I had to learn, I basically had to learn to walk again. My first 2 steps felt like I ran a marathon. And so after leaving the hospital, you know, I slowly, it took about 6 months, 7 months of just getting my strength back. And I was on that same basketball court 7 months later, playing in that same game from the year before. But I was still carrying that 190, 195 weight. And you know, and it wasn't until actually maybe about 1.5 years ago, I came across an old player of mine that I coached in college. And he was into this real clean lifestyle. So I changed my lifestyle to eating as clean as possible, right? Food in its whole form, organic, ideally. Cut out much of the processed foods, sugars, and have really gotten my activity back up, if you will, right? So I find it very important, right? So the American Heart Association says guidelines are, you know, 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week, or 150 minutes of walking, or 75 minutes of rigorous workout, or a combination thereof, right? So you really have to be purposeful when you want to make a lifestyle change. And I would not wish what I went through to anyone. And we're all in control of it. That's the beautiful thing about it. But that's what also just makes it so hard, right? And you know, so my workout consists of what I typically do, right? I'll get up in the morning, I'll walk my dog. It's anywhere from 20 to 30 minutes. And then throughout the day, I might do another 10-minute walk, maybe another 20-minute walk. Then on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I try to get in some type of weight workout. Okay, I think weights are very important. Now, I don't mean to go into a gym and, you know, have to bulk up and bench 300 pounds. I just mean maintain muscle strength, and I think that's what saved my life, to be honest with you. From my second surgery, having been fit, if you will, during all the years before. And then, so, well, you can't go to the gyms. No, I get that, you can't. So either can I. So, you know, what I've done is, you know, I'll do push-ups, right? And one can do push-ups. You can do push-ups anywhere. I'll get a bucket of baseballs. I coach a lot of youth sports. I'll get a bucket of baseballs. I'll do some shoulder work. I'll get some heavy folding chairs, do some biceps, some tricep extensions. I'll get a 40-pound bag of pellets, put it on my back, and do squats, right? And again, you don't have to do it for an hour. That's another misconception, in my opinion. It is, you know, 15, 20 minutes of just a full body workout is fantastic. It feels just so great. And then on the other days, I don't like running. I don't like running long distance. So what I do is I'll do a walk sprint interval. And, you know, if I'm on the treadmill, if it's bad weather outside, you know, I'll warm up for 5 minutes. Then I'll do a minute sprint, minute walk, minute sprint, minute walk, and do another 10 minutes of that. So 5 sets of each of those. And I'm done in 15, 16, 17 minutes. you know, but again, the other key piece to it is if you can find a way to, and I'm not going to call it a diet. I'm going to call it, again, purposeful focus on the food that we put into our bodies, and you know, the fruits, the vegetables, right? You know, I try to eat the grass-fed beef, grass-fed milk, you know, the free-range chicken, and all those type of things, right? There's so much information out there for you to determine what's best for you. But I love what American Heart is doing this month with just simply, okay, let me take that back. As simple as it sounds, we all know it's hard to do, okay? That's why, again, I think it's very important, okay, that to be purposeful with this. And I was talking to JP earlier, and I said, you know, 30 minutes is a long time to give up, especially we're all busy with work and everything. You know, no one says you have to go 30 minutes in a row. Set up a calendar, 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, 10 minutes there throughout the day, and just get out and just move. If you're in the house, if you're not in the office, walk your steps, right? Up and down the steps, do some reps of that. There's just so many things, and I love that stretching is, and I got to get better at that, to be honest with you, but thank you for sharing that video of the stretching. It's very key, and I'm going to start incorporating more of that into my my regimen. And so my friends, Sheehy is doing an unbelievable job. I love their mission on how they support you in health and moving more and incentivizing that, because these days, right, we need healthy employees, right? We need to stay healthy for us. We need to stay healthy for our families. You know, when I did this the first time, my kids were young, and the second time, unbeknownst to me, I almost didn't see them. They almost were going to be fatherless. Thank God for the gift of the talented surgeons at Nova that saved my life. And just don't take things for granted. Get out and just do the moves, do the walks, keep the heart pumping, keep the heart healthy. Try to do your best to put good food into your bodies, right? More vegetables, more fruits. Try to get away from that bag of chips. Now, I'm gonna be clear here, okay? I'll still have a handful of chips. I'll still have a little piece of chocolate, right? I just don't do it as frequently as I used to. And the purposeful working out and holding myself accountable has really benefited myself. And I also have reduced my eating window. I'm not suggesting that you do that, but what works for me is I've reduced my eating window from 4 to 6 hours over the course of the day, and pump my body with the right foods. And after my second surgery, I'd gotten back up to that 190, 195. And again, if you looked at me, you wouldn't have said I was overweight. But doing this new lifestyle, the benefit of it, not the purpose, the benefit of it is I've dropped back down to my high school weight. Okay, I'm back to like 170, 175 on a consistent basis, and it's not a skinny fat, and it's a healthy weight for me, and so keep doing what you're doing, keep supporting this mission, partnering with American Heart Association, and my friends, stay healthy and be purposeful in moving more. Thank you.
Wow, thank you, Scott. Can you stick around for a couple minutes to answer a couple questions? We have some folks here in the chat that obviously I'll are blown away by your story, and certainly puts things in perspective. A couple questions. One very specific one about your, coming off of your heart incident. Did your physicians, your cardiologists, give you any restrictions regarding your heart rate while you were exercising and recovering? What were their recommendations to you?
Yeah, that's a great question. And, when you come out of open heart surgery, you have to go through a cardio rehab, right? It's typically a 4 to 6, 8 week, depending on, how well you do. So they're doing all the monitoring of that and making sure the numbers aren't, I forget what the numbers are, to be honest with you, but, they wanted to make sure I could get on a treadmill, walk, and that the numbers, over a period of time weren't getting, over a certain threshold, if you will, right? A dangerous threshold. So, after my first surgery, it was 6 weeks. I could pick up my kids again, start holding my kids again. And at 8 weeks, it was fully healed. I mean, it's amazing what these doctors can do. And now I have a mechanical heart valve, and obviously I'm not going to lift for power anymore, right? I lift for reps, right? Slow reps, and so more reps than weight, of course. So, and at this point, because I'm going on right now in January was 9 years from my first surgery. This July will be 4 years from my second surgery. And right now I am a healthy individual, and very, very active. So there's no restrictions at this point. You just have to take the baby steps. That's all.
Yeah, you talked a lot about your kids and more time with your family, and I think that's certainly a mission of the AHA, so we all live longer, healthier lives. Can you talk a little bit about some of the things you do on a day-to-day basis with your family to stay healthy, stay active, to keep them active?
Yeah, no, absolutely. And again, each morning my wife and I will walk the dog. Sometimes the kids, depending on the school schedule, they'll come along. On Sundays, we all have a longer walk that we all go on to walk the dog, pending weather, of course. My kids are very active in sports. We push them to be active in sports. We don't do it to think that, they're going to maybe be great at that sport. We just want them to experience sports. My son's playing lacrosse. He's playing baseball. He does basketball. My daughter does field hockey and basketball. My daughter's a freshman in high school right now. Another daughter, she's doing volleyball and track and field right now. So my wife is a marathoner anyway. She's a very fit person as well. And so we've been blessed with her preparing food, if you will, right? I've just taken a little bit deeper on the things that I'm doing, but overall we relatively healthy. And I'm not going to lie, we have, and I'm trying to wean it off, but we have the goldfish in there in the pantry, and the Hershey Kisses and things like that. But we monitor it, right? And everything in proportion is what we really try to preach with them. Don't sit there and grab a gallon of ice cream and go sit in front of the TV and eat half of it. So, but yeah, and then on the weekends, we'll try to go hiking and things. But our schedules get real busy with sports, and I'm on the field with my kids, or the court, depending on what sport it is. So that's part of my activity too, as well.
Well, this is kind of a broad statement, but what do you think's the number one lifestyle change, or maybe it was something you were currently doing that's helped you recover, helped you survive?
Well, I'll answer that in two ways. Prior to, and again, you brought this point up that we talked about earlier, is I think given my condition and going through the surgery that I went through, I think my conditioning prior to all that, and again, I was, not that I'm an elite athlete or anything, right? I stayed relatively active most of the time, right? So I believe in muscle memory, so I think that helped me get through. Subsequent or post second surgery, it's really been how I've focused on my eating and the clean eating, and it just by doing that and doing the workout stuff, it just you just melt fat. It just happens. And it's just staying focused on the cleaning, I think, is big, because I've always worked out. And again, I'd go times where you take a break for a couple months, not work out. You know, we all go through that. But certainly trying to focus on the, you know, one of the best secrets I found out is for snacks, berries and seeds, and nuts, berries and seeds. Those things are so wonderful for your gut health. It's, you know, and they fill you too. They fill you instead of getting that, you know, ice cream bar or whatever it is, you know. And again, I am not perfect here. I'll grab that ice cream bar occasionally. I'll cheat. Yes, I'm human.
All things in moderation, right?
That's right.
Well,
Scott, on behalf of Sheehy and I'm sure the AHA, we just want to thank you again for sharing such a powerful and impactful story along with your road to recovery. And I think it's fair to say that if you can overcome all those physical challenges associated with your condition and the surgeries, then we can certainly start making some better lifestyle choices with more movement involved. And while I'm on that note, I'd like to thank the rest of the AHA team and Old Glory for providing us with some great tips for staying active today. And just a quick reminder that we'll be sending out this recording along with some other links for your reference that you can use to move more this month and throughout the rest of 2021. So JP, I don't know if there was any other final remarks before we run out of time here today.
No, I'll echo all your sentiments. Thanks, Scott. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you to all the Sheehy team, Vince and company. You guys are amazing supporters of the mission of the AHA, and this month is about moving more and making small steps in your life to live a healthier life. And so we appreciate you all coming along the journey with us and supporting our mission so that we can spread the word to the entire community. And we look forward to doing more of these throughout the rest of the year and sharing additional information every month.
And Lauren, I would just like to say thank you to Sheehy as well and yourself for allowing me to speak. I hope it's been worth the time. I hope it can make an impact for someone out there, at least one person. And
absolutely,
you know,
Scott.
Keep living. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon.
Good day.
Good day.